Whenever somebody's asked about the most dominant forces in the world, the name Brock Lesnar is bound to come up more than once. The Beast has been killing the competition for over 2 decades now, and at the point of making this video, he's showing no signs of stopping. But how did we get here? Let's find out. Born on July 12, 1977 in Webster, South Dakota, Brock grew up on his parents' dairy farm. Growing up, Brock was always a dominant athlete, but it was at the University of Minnesota that Brock found his true passion for wrestling. Rooming with fellow WWE superstar Shelton Benjamin, Lesnar honed his skills and took the amateur wrestling world by storm. He became a 2-time NCAA champion, a 2-time Big Ten Conference champion, and with a record of 106-5, it was no surprise that the WWE came knocking on his door. Lesnar finally signed with the company in the year 2000 and was sent to its developmental territory, Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVW, and it was actually there that he met the man who would become synonymous with his career, Paul Heyman. After dominating the OVW Tag Team division with Shelton Benjamin for 2 years, Lesnar eventually got called up to the main roster. He made his explosive debut on the March 18, 2002 episode of Raw. Lesnar absolutely obliterated Al Snow, Maven, and Spike Dudley during a hardcore title match, immediately establishing himself as a force to be reckoned with. After this, Lesnar set his sights on the Hardy Boys. He ran through Jeff Hardy in his first televised match before going on to do the same to his brother Matt the next week. This feud would go on till May and culminated when Lesnar and Heyman defeated the Hardys in a tag team match at Judgment Day. Then Brock would set his sights on the WWE Championship and finally got his shot at the title after winning the 2002 King of the Ring. And after a quick feud with Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Lesnar would go on to defeat The Rock at SummerSlam to become the youngest WWE champion at the age of 25. After being officially drafted to SmackDown, Brock entered into a feud with The Undertaker. This would see the two go one-on-one with each other on 2 separate occasions. Once at Unforgiven, where both Brock and The Undertaker ended up getting DQ'd after Taker sent Lesnar crashing through the set. They had a rematch at No Mercy under Hell in a Cell, which ended with Brock coming out on top. After this, Lesnar entered into a program with The Big Show. The two faced off at Survivor Series, and during the match, Heyman turned on Brock, allowing Big Show to take the title. This was Lesnar's first pinfall loss in WWE, and it caused him to turn face. And to make things worse, Heyman put a clause in Lesnar's contract to prevent him from getting a rematch. But Lesnar wasn't going to take that laying down. He interfered in Big Show's first title defense against Kurt Angle, allowing Angle to win the title. However, Angle also refused to defend the title against Brock. But Lesnar didn't back down and won the Royal Rumble match, securing himself a championship match at WrestleMania 19. His match against Angle at the grandest stage of them all was truly one for the ages, and despite botching a shooting star press and almost paralyzing himself, Brock won the match and won his second WWE Championship. After WrestleMania, Lesnar would turn his attention to a fresh-faced John Cena, who had just returned from injury after being F5'd into a ring post by Lesnar. Cena started saying that Lesnar nearly ended his career, and even named his new finishing move the FU to get under Brock's skin. This led to a match at Backlash where Lesnar defeated Cena to retain the WWE Championship. Brock then rehashed his rivalry with The Big Show before finally dropping the title to Kurt Angle at Vengeance. After feuding with Angle throughout the summer, on the September 18th episode of SmackDown, Lesnar defeated Angle in an Iron Man match to win his 3rd WWE Championship. In October, Paul Heyman returned to WWE as SmackDown General Manager, and Lesnar joined forces with him once again. With Heyman by his side, Brock challenged Angle to a Survivor Series elimination tag team match with Big Show as his first teammate. In the match, Brock was eliminated by Benoit, and his team lost. This led to Lesnar defending the WWE Championship against Benoit on SmackDown, and while the match was close, Brock walked out as the winner in the end. Lesnar would finally drop the championship to Eddie Guerrero at No Way Out after interference from Goldberg, leading to a match between the two at WrestleMania 20. Despite its potential, the match was a major disappointment to fans, since news had broke that both Brock and Goldberg would be leaving the WWE after Mania. And just as reported, Lesnar left the WWE after WrestleMania, citing burnout, poor creative decisions, and the rigorous travel schedule. Brock would spend the next 8 years away from the WWE. During this time, Lesnar would sign with the UFC. He made his debut in February 2008 and quickly rose to fame, winning the UFC Heavyweight Championship in only his 4th fight. Lesnar would go on to defend the gold 2 more times before leaving the promotion with a record of 5 wins and 3 losses. He also had a brief stint in NJPW, where he won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship on his debut match in a triple threat match with Kazuki Fujita and Masahiro Chono. Lesnar successfully defended the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura and Akibono in early 2006, and against Giant Bernard in May. However, he was stripped of the championship by NJPW in July 2007 due to visa issues. A year later, Lesnar lost a match against Kurt Angle at the debut event of the Inoki Genome Federation. This was Lesnar's final wrestling match, until his return to WWE in 2012. Upon his return, Lesnar immediately entered into a program with John Cena. This led to an outing at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, where Lesnar lost despite dominating most of the match. Brock would then have feuds with the likes of Triple H, Mark Henry, The Big Show, and CM Punk. Then, on the February 24th episode of Raw, Paul Heyman stated that Lesnar had requested a match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 30, but received an open contract to face anyone else of his choosing instead. This led to The Undertaker making his return and chokeslamming Lesnar through a table, setting up their match at WrestleMania 30. Lesnar defeated The Undertaker after executing 3 F5s, ending his undefeated WrestleMania streak. This win would legitimately make Brock the most hated wrestler in the company and established him as an unstoppable heel. After this, Brock challenged John Cena to a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at SummerSlam. Lesnar absolutely decimated Cena that night, keeping the champ on the mat, and spending most of the year away. Brock would finally return to defend the title against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 31. However, Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase in the middle of the match and stole the championship right out of Brock's hands. Lesnar tried to regain the title at Battleground, but the match was interrupted by The Undertaker, who hit Brock with a chokeslam and 2 tombstone piledrivers, ending the match in a DQ finish, meaning Seth Rollins retained the title. On the following night's Raw, Undertaker revealed that he attacked Lesnar not for ending his WrestleMania streak, but for the fact that he and Heyman kept taunting him for it. This led to a rematch at SummerSlam, where Undertaker controversially defeated Lesnar. During the match, the timekeeper rang the bell as Undertaker had supposedly submitted to Lesnar's Kimura lock, even though the referee had not seen any submission. In the confusion, Undertaker hit Lesnar with a low blow and applied his Hell's Gate submission hold, causing Lesnar to pass out. The next night on Raw, Lesnar and Heyman challenged Undertaker to a rematch, and the two met again at Hell in a Cell, where Lesnar defeated Taker, effectively ending their feud. Following this, Brock entered a feud with Dean Ambrose, whom he defeated at WrestleMania 32 after a highly disappointing match. Lesnar would then disappear until July, when he returned to face Randy Orton at SummerSlam. Brock defeated Orton by technical knockout, leaving Orton with a forehead wound that required 10 staples. Once the feud with Orton ended, Brock would disappear again, only to return in November to face Goldberg. His match against Goldberg was the first time Lesnar showed any weakness since defeating The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30, and he lost in under 2 minutes. Then, at the Royal Rumble on January 29th, Lesnar entered at number 26 and went on to eliminate Enzo Amore, Dean Ambrose, and Dolph Ziggler before confronting Goldberg, who entered at number 28 and quickly eliminated Lesnar after a spear. On Raw the following night, Lesnar issued a challenge to Goldberg for a final match at WrestleMania 33. Goldberg accepted the challenge, and the two met at the grandest stage of them all, where Lesnar defeated Goldberg to win his 5th world title in WWE and became the first wrestler to have won both the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. This reign would go on for over 500 days, until Roman Reigns defeated him at the next year's SummerSlam. But Reigns had to relinquish the title due to leukemia relapse. Lesnar then faced Strowman and won the title at Crown Jewel. He successfully defended it against Daniel Bryan and Finn Balor, and lost it to Rollins at WrestleMania 35. He then won the WWE Championship from Kofi Kingston on SmackDown's 20th anniversary, only to be attacked by Cain Velasquez, who he faced and defeated at Crown Jewel. Lesnar eventually lost the WWE Championship to Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 36. Brock then took a year-long hiatus from the WWE. He returned to SummerSlam 2021 sporting a cowboy farmer look with a beard and ponytail. He confronted Universal Champion Roman Reigns as a face after Reigns' successful title defense against John Cena. He faced Reigns for the title at Crown Jewel on October 21st, losing after interference from the Usos. Brock was scheduled to face Reigns in a rematch at the Day 1 event, but that was canceled due to Reigns contracting COVID-19, and Lesnar was added to Raw's WWE Championship match, where he defeated Big E to win the title. Lesnar would then go on to win the Royal Rumble and challenged Roman Reigns to a title unification match at Mania 38. Lesnar lost this match and the following rematch at SummerSlam, putting an end to his feud with Roman. Since then, he's had feuds with Bobby Lashley, Omos, and more recently Cody Rhodes, and continues to look as dominant as ever.